So when a baby first comes into the world, they don't know anything but unity. They just think that they're kind of like an appendage of their world, like the whole world is one and they're just part of it. And you know, a lot of times if you pick up a baby, they'll just like melt onto your body and they're just like, well, I just am part of your body. They just think they're part of mama's body or something, you know? It's very beautiful. But there does come a point where the baby realizes that they're not. And that point is different for different people, very much depending upon, among other things, and this I'm just starting to read now into our collective, among other things, how soon you were set to sleep on your own. How soon you were put away in another room, alone, in the dark, to sleep. For hundreds of thousands of years, or maybe millions of years, babies slept in the arms of their mothers. They always slept close to mother or someone. They always slept touching someone. It's only been in like the last, since like the mid-1800s, that the style of putting babies off alone, separate, and training them to sleep on their own has become a thing. Before that, it wasn't a thing. I would say it's one of the first stresses that a person experiences, is that feeling of being very vulnerable. When children get bigger and they misbehave, it's a fairly common practice now, at least in the West, to put the kids in timeout. And when you take a baby and you put them in a room alone by themselves, it's like timeout, really. Only it's not seen as a punishment. It's just seen as like, that's just the way you treat babies, right? Why is that a good punishment for like young kids? Because survival back in the day depended on closeness to the tribe, to the collective. Even parent horses. In wild horse communities, if a young colt has misbehaved, the colt is made to go away from the group and be over on its own. And let me tell you, it's terrifying. It's terrifying to be a little horse and to be made to like, I can't be with all the other horsies. Very quickly, they figure out what they did wrong. they feel remorse and they cry out to mama, okay, I'm sorry. I'll be good now. I won't nip at somebody's tail or whatever they were doing. It's terrifying. It's terrifying to be really tiny and really vulnerable and on your own. I think those who determine what is the style of the day either were never parents in the first place, or if they were parents, they were somehow not aware of how terrifying it is to be alone, especially in the dark at night, and you're little. In previous webinars, we've done deep healings for night terrors for children, because that's a big healing and that could take a long time and all that. What I'm doing now is I'm going just into the silence of my being and offering this healing. It's a whole package, and we've already done it, so it's already formed. It's already a formed package, and just going into the silence of wholeness or totality and offering it to everybody in this healing session as a download. That healing. The way the healing came about, I remember it quite well actually, was that as a little teeny tiny person, you were able to draw upon the wisdom and the comfort and the compassion and the and the love of your future self to come and sit with you at night when you're alone in the dark. To just sit with you, to bear with you, and hold you in the grace, in divine grace, and to create circles of protection, like matrices, protection matrices, around your little teeny tiny body, so that you are embraced in a blanket of protection and comfort. And you feel that presence. The important thing is that the baby wants to feel the presence of the mother with them. Even if it ends up being more like the mother of creation through you, or yourself being that mother to yourself, something like that. And it's possible with consciousness to go back into the annals of time and those moments in the early childhood and isolate out all the specific moments where you might have experienced something like a night terror, and just hold that space for yourself. Hug yourself, hold yourself, love yourself. Whisper, I am here and I am protecting you and I love you and I'm not going to let any darkness come to you. Even though it's dark, we're not going to let any kind of dark, scary energies come. Only just soft light, the soft, sweet light of the love of the mother of creation. Sometimes mother can't be mother. She can't be a mother. So then the individual has to be the mother for them, or father. Sometimes the mother or the father or members of the family are not functional. And then the individual has to fill in the blank for themselves. Doing that is so sweet. You might feel, even as we're talking about how the heart energy center kind of blossoms open and nurtures, it flows, the intelligence, just like you can make a little line of intelligence coming out of your forehead or your head. Oh, I'm going to go to the swimming pool now. Something like that. You can make this little impulse of compassion and love emerge from the heart energy center, and the intention to embrace the tiny self, the tiny little vulnerable scared self. Some people were in ICUs when they were first born because they were born really sick. It's not uncommon to face the same karmic challenge as you're coming into this life as you were facing when you were going out of the previous life. That's very common. In fact, there are cosmic reasons for why that happens. But that's why it's not so uncommon for little tiny babies to face health or physical challenges as they're coming into this world. But when a little tiny person is in the ICU, it's like they're not feeling close to mama. They're not feeling the warmth and smelling this, smelling these familiar smells, something like that. It's all sterilized and cold and, So for those babies, those ICU babies, just feeling for those babies who felt isolated and alone, whether it was in an ICU, isolated, ICU, isolated, or whether it was just put away in another room at night, or when you're napping. Babies nap a lot. Oh, the baby's napping. I can finally do something. Well, I'll put them away in the other room. Rather than I'll sit here and hold this baby while they sleep so that they feel safe the whole time. It's quite the sacrifice. So just feeling that flow of the heart back to the tiny vulnerable self. It's a little child. Nothing is more important than feeling accepted and loved and sort of embraced by the loving community, the family around.